Hi, and welcome back to a new episode of Talk It Out. I think in our previous episode, we spoke about emotions. We talked about positive and negative emotions. And today, we would like to specifically scale down into the specific emotions and talk about anger.
Yeah,
Right?
I think we'll first cover the more destructive ones.
Yep.
Then after that, the more constructive emotions,
Right.
like the happiness, enjoyment,
Excitement.
yeah, all these we'll cover on the later part. But the first thing we want to address is really how to prevent this destruction.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think more often than not, most of us, especially for something like anger in the Asian context, because we tend to bottle everything up, then we hold it up so much that it explodes, and then our actions can be very, very harmful.
Yeah.
Arising from this emotion, which is anger. And sometimes, out of anger, we also do some things that can be quite irreversible. Sometimes, even after you have acting out of anger and you have said a simple sorry, sometimes that just doesn't cut it as well because the damage has been done.
Definitely.
So, we are going to now address how we can work on that and learn how to transmute that into a better purpose.
So probably you want to explore, why do we feel anger?
Yep.
Right? And personally, I feel anger is something that is very useful for myself.
Okay.
It really dependent on individuals. So like for my elder boy, he is more of the more gentle, more, not so abrasive, and he wants to make sure that everything is okay for everybody.
Right.
I think anger is good for him.
Okay.
Okay. Why I say so is also because it gives him a signal to, hey, something is up. It gives him an idea of, hey, I need to do something about this.
Right.
Even personally for myself, when I was much younger, I think I'm very similar to my older one.
Okay.
Right? And when I was younger, I tend to just want to make sure everybody is happy. Right? Sometimes picture also never mind, suck it up, be a team player, take one for the team, then after that, 自己受罪.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to use the anger. Sometimes picture, but I don't know why I picture. And I don't know where to look. Right? And it's a lot of times it's just a change of perspective.
Right.
To see from different angles, then you'll be able to see a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're going to talk about perspectives, can I also say that anger is derived from fear, right?
True.
Right. At least not all, but a majority of it is derived from fear. So maybe instead of questioning why we get angry about certain things, actually, should we perhaps be questioning what are we fearful about, and if we are afraid, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to take action to do something so that we are adequate enough and we will not feel that fear, or are we going to just accept it, right, and then say like, oh, bo pian, life throws me this, I'm like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Personally, I feel that there are many root causes.
Right.
It's a matter of how you think and how you align yourself with your emotions.
Okay.
Like for you feel that anger comes from fear.
Yep.
For me, anger, I feel it comes from love.
Okay.
Okay. And personally, when I feel angry, it's because most of the time there is something that I'm passionate about. There's something that I love so much that I need to protect.
Right. Okay, I get where you're coming from, because the funny thing about this is when I was saying fear, I was also kind of looking at it in this direction. Like, the reason why sometimes we get angry is because, growing up, whether it's from our parents or whether it's from society, we've been molded into a certain way, and we start to form certain beliefs and certain internal systems and whatnot that we have.
Yeah.
And we use this to grow up, right? And, kind of regulate our emotions and feelings. And so when somebody comes in and tries to intrude into that space and then tell us like, hey, your beliefs are wrong, or they do something which looks like it starts to question our beliefs, then we start to get angry. Actually, why? So my anger was why I was saying why is fearful. I think it's because we're afraid that they will start questioning our beliefs, and then we realize that actually, when you question my beliefs, right, it's what I believed in since young till now. That many years, is it entirely all wrong? And then we start to have this barrier, that protection that comes up.
Correct.
and then our body starts to protect us by getting angry lah. That's the first immediate response that snaps up lah. So is that the same as what you're driving at, where you say that fear probably anger probably comes from love, and that's because you want to protect? Are we on the same describing the same thing?
Because most of the time I only get angry with things that I care about.
True.
So I mean, it's not a templated thing that we can copy and paste individuals for everybody, but it's more of when we explore our emotions, really truly dive in and ask yourself, hey, why do I really feel angry? Is it because of there's something that I need to protect, or is it because of what? What exactly? You can be angry about simple things, it's okay.
Right.
It's just about being aware of this anger, where it came from.
Right.
Because a lot of people, when we talk about anger, when we talk about hey, you need to go and look into your emotions, then they will tend to what should I look for? Yeah, because personally I found this out like probably 2-3 years back, when I really dive into my own internal system to go and find out, can I be triggered by other things? Will I be triggered by other things?
Yeah.
How do I subdue this?
Right.
And what are some of the things that I can do to shift my emotions, my emotional state? Yeah, so that is where I spend a lot of time diving into the nitty-gritty details before I made that change.
Right.
And then I came out with a list like the top 3 things that I'm going to do next to try and shift this.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why when I go through that process, then I found out. Yeah, so I would say personally, I would encourage everyone to also do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, because anger, now I'm using it so effectively in a way whereby I can identify what matters to me. Yeah, and sometimes there might not even be something for you to protect. Right? It's something that is not so important, and that helps me to prioritize the things that I'm doing. Yeah. Then from there, I make quite good use of my time lah.
Right.
I'm not sure about your experience.
I agree. I think the one thing that has really helped me to control anger is when something happens, and sometimes even though definitely the anger will come, right? The emotion will set in, the feeling will set in, you'll start to feel it, it'll start to rise. But I think when it rises, then sometimes it's about just taking a deep breath. And I think what has worked for me is after taking the deep breath, then I ask myself, what is the intention? For example, if I flare up because I'm trying to teach my kid something but he isn't getting it, then I question myself, so what's my intention? My intention is because I'm trying to drive across a concept or whatever is in the syllabus to him, but he's not getting it. So then by going back to my intention, it makes me realize that could it be me? Could the problem be me? Maybe because maybe the way I'm explaining or elaborating to him is not sentenced in a way where he can comprehend. And then to tweak it. And then sometimes even after you do it a few times, and there are cases because kids, right, they don't get you, and when you get really frustrated, I realize that sometimes all it takes is just to walk away, step back and say, you know what, let's stop doing this homework or whatever for now. We'll come back to this 15 minutes. Why don't you take a break, go wash up and have a snack or something? I realize that works.
So I think it's a good way lah. Okay, wow, finally we are back again because of the rain. We were actually at the rooftop. Then after that, as much as I think we love the outdoors a lot, right? No choice, because of the weather, we moved to the void deck. That's why there's a little bit of a cut. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about anger and our different experiences of how we manage to subdue anger to a certain extent when the feeling and emotion arise, and how are we able to then transmute it. I think when we talk about transmuting, it's about converting this particular energy or emotion into something that is more useful. So I think from where we are saying, the transmutation comes from, instead of getting angry and whipping out the cane or slapping your son or throwing the books, right? The better aim will be to actually, convert that into a more inquisitive kind of approach whereby, hey, which part do you not understand? Actually, then now it's a bit of self-reflection. Which part am I not explaining it right?
Yeah.
Then I find that is just transmuting the entire whole anger emotion into something that is more beneficial and more constructive.
I think what you mentioned is actually a process of taking back your own control.
Yes, that's right.
And taking back the power to choose what you want to do.
That's right. But I think to that, I also have to say that there must be a conscious effort to want to do it. Because more often than not, when anger comes, right, we are not always aware that, right, that anger is going to hit us. I mean, most of us are not like, what am I feeling in my body? Oh, I feel this here, I feel this here. Oh, I got indicator here turning red like Iron Man. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes anger comes rapidly, it goes like, and it shows at you, and then what's next? So I feel like if we have that we want to have that conscious effort to not let ourselves burst or erupt. Then even though we feel the emotion, it's about, how fast it takes for us to identify that now, my anger has come here already. Signal light on, right? Then we work on it. What do you think?
I think what you mentioned is important, but the thing I want to highlight is that it is still okay to feel anger. Yep. And it's okay to experience it. It's okay to allow it to come out.
Yes.
Yes. Because a lot of times when we talk about, don't feel angry, what most of the people that I talk to, they will just, keep everything inside, which you'll end up like what we mentioned, right? Like bottle everything out and then bam.
Yeah, I think that there are a bit of, so I've stumbled upon a few videos or advice that I've heard here and there that also say that sometimes, when anger comes, one way we can curb it or address it directly is to nip it at the bud, whereby, you try holding your breath for 30 seconds to a minute and then when you're struggling for breath, right, trust me, when survival instinct kicks in, right, all emotion is gone. So I find that, so I've tried it for fun. It works, right? Because when you can't breathe, logical, that comes first. Nothing else matters. But then again, I find that that's not the point, right? Because that is like using the stoppage of your breath as a distraction, but you're not really controlling it. You're just, in that sense, escaping from it, right? Diverting it away, or in that sense, you're not looking at it. You're not facing it. You are also trying to suppress it. But like what you said, we are all human, right? And it's only human for us to feel emotions. That anger is an emotion. It's okay to feel it, right? And instead of running from it, right, we feel it and then we see what are the constructive ways we can adopt to do better.
So I think when we are talking about changing your way of reacting, an important thing to note is really about how we want to change.
Right.
What is our reflex?
Right.
Like our knee-jerk reflex. Okay. The one very hard to change because there's an internal reflex. The reflex that we have usually, emotion come, pump, war come up, or whichever. Those we can choose, right? And the thing that I found most useful while shifting away from that was to pull myself out, lay down what is my current reflex. How do I currently react to anger? Right? Is it the intense, mid-intensity and low-intensity type of reflex?
Right.
Then after that, decide how do I want to react. Then I list out the top 3 ways, easiest ways that I can react. Then just remind myself, next time I feel angry, I'm going to do this. So when the anger came, first time, trust me, then you pull yourself back.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you go into a new role. Sometimes if sometimes you never remind yourself fast enough or remind yourself enough, you might even forget. Then after and then you say, shit.
Okay, but I want to touch on this point. So if that happens, right, I personally feel that, if it happened and you forgot and the anger still rolled through and whatever, then so be it lah. I feel don't have to, beat yourself to it. It's happened. I think more importantly, it's subsequently in the future when that comes, what am I going to do about it? And then, although you try, even if you fail, I think it's not about looking at the failures. It's about, I failed, so what, right?
Yeah,
Let's just make sure next time I'm more conscious and aware when this comes up. And then do it. And then if you fail again, so be it lah. Then try again lah. And then you just try to improve bit by bit every day. I think importantly it's about taking baby steps.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people, the hardest step is the first step out.
Actually, no. I feel like a lot of people have trouble taking the first step out is because when they try to deal with their emotions, especially something like anger, which is so present every now and then, right? They always look at themselves as, oh, this spot I get angry. And then what can I do, right, to, when this comes, right, I become so calm, like I'm stoic like that. Whoa, don't feel anything. But that cannot exist, I feel. Immediately, I feel immediately it can never exist. You can't position yourself, today I'm here, and then go wash your face, pop, it's a brand new me. Doesn't work that way, right?
You go Haidilao.
Why like?
They change your face.
Yeah. What do you think about it? Am I right to say that? Like the minuscule steps, the minor steps, the baby steps. As long as you take baby steps moving forward and there's progression, that's good.
Yeah, I think the important thing is to remember that it is always a process.
Yeah.
Change is a process. You bathe, you also need time. Eat, you also need time. Shit, you also need time. Right? We need to go through the process. Doesn't mean I go into the toilet, I open the door, close the door means I finish it. No ma.
You
still need to sit down and shit.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
it's about embracing the process.
Agree.
Right? Regardless, sometimes constipated, sometimes come out too fast.
Yeah.
We need to manage it as it comes along.
Right.
It's not why my stomach pain, then you go into a self-blame all over again. Right? And I think what we really want to push across is about what can you do now.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
So one thing, just one. Identify what are some of the patterns.
Yes.
Right? When you're angry, what do you usually do? What are the things that you are doing already that is destructive? What are the things that you're doing that is not destructive? When anger comes, right, then segregate that whole thing.
Right.
Because if you ask me, it takes a little bit of creativity, right? If you're not creative with the way that we react, we'll constantly react the same way. It's like being a chef.
Yes, that's right.
Right? Have you seen the dessert that look like mee pok, but actually it's a dessert?
No, there is.
Yeah, there's a Rangoon Road. Yeah, look like fishball noodle, right? But actually it's some mango pudding. really. Then is the pudding in the noodle one.
Oh,
but it's about being creative.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Same, looks the same, but tastes completely different.
Right.
Same way as you all can deal with your anger. Right? And once you have done that, if you feel that there are certain events or certain situations that you put yourself in, and it's the LPPL don't know what else to react on.
Yep.
Drop it in the comment.
Right. Agree.
Right?
Yep.
Email us, let us know. We will address them.
Yes, that's right.
Right? And I am pretty excited to show you how else you can react.
Yep.
Right? Because all this is a choice. It's just a matter of you want to or not.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So, okay, with that, we're going to wrap it up and stay tuned for our next episode whereby we're going to talk again about another emotion.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one we can talk about, what do you say?
We can talk about stress. Or if there's any emotion that you experience, don't know how to explain, that is destroying you.
Correct. Let us know. Comment. Or if you want to stay anonymous, then drop an email to us at our Gmail, which is TalkItOutSG@gmail.com. Okay, and with that, if you haven't already done so, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Bye.